All right, we here in the depths of the valley of St. Louis, Missouri, where consciousness is at an all-time low. We got here my main man here, Minister Mutoise, and he's gonna drop a little science on y'all. And why'd you come here today, my brother?
Today, okay, I came here in this belly of the beast to speak to all you gods out there, goddesses. Demons is really what I like to call us, because that's what we are. You know, people always like to think of themselves in the positive, but we're all of this shit. We're gods, we're demons. And in fact, the demons were the ones who defied the gods, defied the matrix. You know what I mean? They defied the matrix, and they went outside what is considered logical. That's who the demons were. They could see further, they could see more clearly, and the gods didn't like that. So they tried to chain the demons up, but really the demons is just your other side. So embrace that shit, embrace it. And be happy with it. People always want to go one way or the other, but we're both sides of the coin. So to all you demons and demoness, go with it. Love it, love it. So I'm here to talk about what the demons can do. You know, I'm into words. I love to flip words. You know, because if you know what anagrams are, you know anagrams are said to have all of life hidden within them. The things that people mean but they don't say. It's in the words. And we know that the white man is part and parcel of keeping things hidden, putting things in plain sight, yet they're hidden. And as far as I'm concerned, not only is the Bible an allegory, but so is the dictionary. The dictionary is an allegory. I mean, on the surface, it has words in it that people look and see, and they see the surface meaning, the superficial meaning, but the words actually have a much more deeper meaning. And a lot of times you can get at this with anagrams, you can get at this with flipping words. You have to look at words from all different types of sides. And there's nothing new, because Elijah Muhammad, that's one of the things that he got his people into, looking at words, breaking them down. And it's a law of science. We need to do that, because a lot of what we're looking and searching for is right in front of us. We just have to go beneath the surface. In fact, and in one movie that I'm going to talk about, and I'm really not going to get that deep into it, but matter of fact, this is the base, the most important thing that I wanted to say about this movie, Final Destination 2. Right in the beginning of the movie, in the scene, there's a guy on TV and he's talking, and he's the so-called expert, and the guy asked him a question. He says, you know, the key to survival here, the key to survival in defeating death, is what he was talking about, is to, you have to go underground. You have to go into the beyond in the underworld. So that's deep. That's what we have to do. I mean, we have to start looking beneath the surface of everything that we see out here. So I'm trying to be a part and parcel of all the brothers and sisters who come before me, who've talked about breaking shit up, coming with the chaos, getting people to look beneath the surface. So if you look at demons, for example, if you flip that, you know, demons backward is no meds. Peep that. You know, so what does that tell you? That tells you that demons are the ones that refuse to be medicated by all this bullshit that society wants to give us and have us take. You know, they ain't taking the blue pill, and certainly we ain't, you know, we're gonna might give some caution to taking a red motherfucking pill. You know what I'm saying? So we're not, demons are not about being medicated. So if you're not about being medicated, no meds, then you want to get into your demon side. It's time to get into our demon side. We have too much shit going on where society keeps wanting us to turn this other cheek and be accepting, and can we all get along? You know, fuck that. Like my boy Paul Mooney said, who is my favorite comic on the face of the fucking earth. You know what I mean? In terms of his attitude, that's what I really like about him. He said, God sent me here to tell you white motherfuckers about yourselves. And any of you brothers and sisters out there who are sniffing up in white folks' asses, I'm here to tell y'all about yourself.
No
Okay?
doubt, no doubt.
So this ain't the type of minister that you're used to, all right? Because we coming from the side of, the ministers were the ones who, supposedly the ministers were the ones who took information, were intercessories. They got information from the gods, right? And they share it with other people. But you know what? All of us have that capability. We just need to open ourselves up. So that's what I'm about. So I'm a God. I intercede with myself and get my information. That's where I get my information from, basically. You know, I pull it out the air and everywhere else around me. You know, I look at words. You know what I'm saying? I look at the birds and the trees and shit, the way our ancestors did, and pull up information. See, and open yourself up and become a sieve. You can receive this. You can receive all of this information. So I'm here to talk about all of that. We're gonna get into a number of things. One of the things that I did want to do is I want to get some props out first of all. I want to give props out to Dr. Valentine, who I really, if you see this Valentine, it's I like to just give much respect to that brother because I feel that we have a certain kinship. I feel that for some reason I'm directly in your lineage, your spiritual lineage, your genetic lineage. And because I really feel and connect with a lot of things that Valentine say. I'm really into the frequencies, and it's because of you that really inspired me to start going deeper beneath things that we see in terms of our frequency and dealing with the vibrations and the vibes and all of that in our blood. You inspired that part of me, and so I give you much respect for that. Bobby Hemmett, no doubt, much respect. You let me open up for you when you came here, and we did the tape Mystic Consciousness, and Dark Side. If it's a couple of brothers on there asking Bobby Hemmett questions, one of the voices that you hear on that, those who've heard that, is me and my demon brother here, Rudra, who's filming me now, and I had to give much love to you, Rudra, for making this possible and for making a lot of the tapes available here in the St. Louis area. You know, this brother here is doing a great work, and because of that, the next brothers I'm going to name, I owe that to Rudra because I had an opportunity to see y'all on some of these videos, and I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And I peeped that work, and a lot of y'all throwing down. Brother Cypher, Brother Rich. Brother Rich is ill. I can't wait to see your shit, man. Because you did on that Cypher you did with Tefferu and Panic. You was coming with it, so I can't wait to see what you got to put out. And in fact, Tefferu and Panic, both of y'all clowned on there, talking about the movies, the signs and the symbols. That was real dope. So I just can't wait to see more of y'all work. And Brother Javon, I like what you did. Your presentation was dope, man. I'm going to have to tell you that. What you did with the whole the repercussions of the 9/11. And also Brother Shabazz and Brother Jay, both of you brothers working hard to make this product available to all the demons around this country. That cannot go unmentioned because we need to get that word out. So I just want to give props
no doubt.
to all y'all. You know, so basically that's where I want to start off. Want to get that out the way. Start that off initially. What else do I want to get into? Well, I mean, it's like Bobby Hemmett said. I mean, there's just so much shit. Where do you start? Where do you go? One thing that I like to talk about is this book right here. It's called The Coming of Tan. You get that, Brother Rudra? Okay, this is called The Coming of Tan, and it's by my boy Riley Martin. Now, Riley Martin was, and he is, as far as I know, one of only two niggas who have been abducted by aliens. And it's him right here in America, and Credo Mutwa, who's a South African medicine man, of course, in South Africa. And both of them have, Credo Mutwa has written a book about it, Song of the Stars. You may know about that, get that. Wiley Tan's book is this one right here, The Coming of Riley Martin rather. His book is called The Coming of Tan. Interesting. And this is a symbol of the one of the aliens that he came into contact with. You know, in this book, real interesting. Now, here's the thing about this. The book itself is interesting. It's interesting as hell. In fact, it's real funny. You know what I mean? But since Riley is in the family, you know, I'm gonna have to. I couldn't get with it. You know what I mean? I didn't know in it, and I don't use the word believe. I stay away from that as much as possible because since I'm a God, I don't believe shit. If I either know it or I don't know it. You see what I'm saying? So that's our problem. We believe in too much shit, and we don't know anything. So it's time out for believing in faith and all of that. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. But anyway, so I didn't know in it. You know what I mean? I didn't know about this, man. And when I read it, I started. It was hard to get to. I had to wait about 4 weeks to get this. But when I read it, when I first got the book, I was with an open mind because I'm willing to go, you know, anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere the spirit goes, man. You know. But when I started reading the book, it really struck me as a better work of science fiction, and didn't have that much more up on, say, some shit that Octavia Butler wrote. Which, if you're really into science fiction, get Octavia Butler shit because it's deep. Okay, she can get down. But this work right here is a piece of science fiction. It's a great ass piece of work. It's funny as hell. You know what I mean? It's got some shit in it. It's deep. And as I was reading the book, and he tried to posit this book as a real experience. Now, I'm not trying to discount my brother's work or whatever, because as far as he's concerned, it may have truly happened to him. But I wasn't convinced in this treatise. One thing where he lost me, for example, in this book, he talks about the 7 life forms that he ran into. You dig what I'm saying? So right away, that piqued my curiosity, because anytime you start using the number 7, you know, it gets right back into the symbology. You know, people, you know, our world is governed on signs and symbols, colors, names, you see what I'm saying? Numbers, all of that. And that's all in our collective unconscious. So people get into that. Now, he used 7 beings. What does that connect to? We got the Pleiadians. We got the 7 planets. The Pleiadians are called the 7 sisters. We got the 7 days of the week, and so on. The number 7, the 7 chakras. You see what I'm saying? So, and here's the thing about it. You know what I'm saying? One of the beings in this book is called the Dorians. Now, I'm a trivia buff. Okay, now I don't really give a fuck about European history. I really don't. So I don't even try to remember their shit. I had one time a white boy asked me, "Well, you don't know about European history?" I said, "No, I really don't. I don't really give a fuck about European history."
No doubt.
You know what I mean? I don't really give history a lot of weight in general. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, like I say, if I don't feel it or know the shit, it don't mean anything to me. But so anyway, he talks about the Dorians, and any of you know about European history, that fucked up shit. The Dorians, and I just happen to know this because being in the trivia, you know a lot of little shit, like playing Jeopardy and all of that. The Dorians were Greeks. They were white motherfuckers. Okay, what I'm saying? Now, is that a coincidence or what? You know what? There ain't no fucking coincidences, all right? First of all, there ain't no coincidences. No synchronicity and all this bullshit that people be talking about. That's a motherfucking white construct that people keep trying to push on people, talking about coincidences and lucky breaks. White people, we're living in a paradigm, we're living in a dimension where shit is planned out 500 years ahead of time, okay? When niggas are brainwashed and everything is a fucking movie. You watching a movie, that's all your life is, okay? And the ending is coming and you are the motherfucking star, okay? And people got supporting roles in your shit, okay? Now, you need to start being aware of that. And you need to start writing your own motherfucking script, first of all, and cast the motherfuckers in it that you want to be cast in the movie, okay? So anyway, here come the Dorians. Now, the Dorians were were a group of people who took over Greece. First were the Ionians. Them motherfuckers came in there. Then the Achaeans came in there and whooped the Ionians' ass. Then the Dorians came in there and fucked up the Achaeans and the Peloponnese. They fucked them up. This all took place maybe like 1100 to 950 BC, over 150 years, right? So the Dorians and them, they came in there, beat the Achaeans' ass up, took over, and they were Greek, white motherfuckers, all right? Now, the Dorians were also part of all of them motherfuckers, the Ionians, the Achaeans, the Dorians, all of these motherfuckers were the ones who ushered in Greece the destruction of the female principle, of the goddess principle.
No doubt.
They started getting rid of all the female goddesses. They didn't want to hear about that shit, and they ushered in the patriarchal order, social order. You see what I'm saying? Zeus and them and all them motherfuckers.
Right.
They got rid of the female goddesses, all right? Because you know what they were into, right? Fucking each other. So they got rid of that. They didn't want to hear that shit. But anyway, so those were the Dorians, white motherfuckers. Now, to me, is it a coincidence? How in the fuck you gonna come supposedly light years away, all right? Come from light years away, and your fucking name is Dorian. That's just some crazy bullshit to me. You might as well name the motherfuckers Tyrone or Chauncey or some shit. You know what I'm saying? That don't make any sense to me, man. All right? You gonna be Dorian? This motherfucker said he was abducted and by some motherfuckers named Dorians. All right, see, that don't make no sense. So that was a coincidence. They white, the motherfucking Greeks were white. These motherfuckers, he described them as about 6 feet, blonde hair, blue eyes. No, you done fucked up now. Blonde haired and blue eyes. Dorians. All right. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, then he goes on to another group of people called the Niptonians. All right, you see, he saw about 7 groups of people. Another group of people were called the Niptonians. Another name for the Niptonians were the Nomo.
Oh, come on.
All right, now listen, motherfucker. Okay, now you call them the Nomo. Now, on the surface, you would say, oh, you know, hey, that's a good thing. That corroborates what the Dogon were talking about. No, see, that's wrong. What that corroborates and confirms is the motherfucker lifted the Dogon story and put it in his shit. Okay, that's all that confirms to me. So to me, that was very suspect. So Riley, I take issue with you on that. All right, brother. Now I'm not trying to discount your shit, but you know you fucked up with that because. To have the Dorians in there and then come back with the Nomo is taken from some shit that's already existed. So now they didn't came in contact with you. Motherfuckers that come. Look, if a motherfucker come from another galaxy, what if you're the motherfucker should have a name that you can't pronounce. Okay? All right? All consonants or some shit. So this motherfucker said they were the Dorians, then you got the Niptonians and the okay. So I was through with you when it came to that part. But as a story as a whole, the shit is funny. It's funny. I mean, you know, the information is good. It's a great science fiction story. It's got some shit in there that you can actually say, damn, the technology that he talks about, because the whole story is about a group of beings he calls aliens. He called the Byavians, okay? And their nemesis are the Targs. So it's a great fucking story. It's hilarious. In here, Riley is fucking alien bitches. You know what I mean? I mean, he getting more alien pussy than like he's like a pimp on this motherfucker. He you know what I'm saying? He's fucking an alien bitch, and he ain't using no motherfucking condom. And it wouldn't make no sense if he did, because you know that alien pussy eats right through a condom. But you know what I mean? It's like Richard Pryor said.
Oh my goodness, man.
It's like Richard Pryor said. When he fucking them Asian gals, it's like. They had some shit so tough in they pussy, be like, come on up in here, penicillin, right? So you know it wouldn't make no fucking sense to wear no condom.
Oh my goodness.
But not only that, but he didn't have a condom because he had babies. He was like, yeah, I want to see my babies and shit. So he told me he don't even know how many children he had. This motherfucker's having children and shit. I'm telling you, I mean, he made it sound so good, my dick got hard. He did. I can't wait to fuck an alien bitch. You know what I mean? I sure hope she got a big ass. You know what I mean? I ain't lying. He made this sound good in the motherfucker. Damn. You know, so all you sisters, y'all start fucking up. I'm getting me a bitch from Stygian or some fucking place. You know what I mean? Cause y'all sometimes, I love y'all sisters, but shit, you know what I mean? These alien gals, man, they might have some shit. You know, I'm gonna stop not only dealing with sisters, I'm gonna go to motherfucking different species. You know? But no, all jokes aside, man, the shit is funny. I mean, in that sense, I mean, it's got some good shit in here, man. What he talks about in terms of future technology, it's a great story. You know what I mean? And he says that they kidnapped him. They first abducted him at age, I think it was about age 7, and every 7 years or 11 years after that, they abduct him again, and he has another conversation with them. They give him further information, and so that's how the book came about. And he started writing about it. You know, now as far as I need to speak on this for a minute because, see, it's my position that number one, I'm kind of with Bobby Hemmett on this. First, it ain't no motherfucking aliens. All right. It ain't no aliens. So now these motherfucking UFOs ain't no UFOs because they right here. We know that the United States had been dealing with all these countries far back as the 30s and 40s, developing high-tech planes and shit like that to fly around in and to do reconnaissance missions. In my previous life in this motherfucking skin I'm in, you know, I dealt with the military. I was in the Air Force, dealt with the fucking Army, had a top secret clearance and all that shit. Used the time, did some studying up in there. Motherfuckers have been dealing with the Air Force and all them been dealing with that technology, man, back since the 30s and 40s, and people been seeing, you know, these UFOs. So, you know, and this is really what the hollow earth theory is about. That motherfuckers live inside the earth, planes and shit, and they fly in and they fly out. Okay? Underground bases, the same thing. This is another theory that supports that. You know, and it's not a conspiracy theory. It's like they say, it's no theory, it's all conspiracy. Okay? Ain't no theory to it. The fucking shit is happening. You know, in conspiracy, when people always talk about, oh, you just conspiracy theorists, you know, you get people talking that shit. You know what? A conspiracy ain't nothing but somebody planning to do some shit. Now, if you don't think people plan to do some shit, you crazy. All right? So that's a conspiracy. They conspiring. All right? Yeah. So, but anyway, so there are these UFOs, unidentified flying objects or whatever. They exist. They're around. I mean, you know, it's no big deal. You know, the shit is true. I mean, so when people start talking about aliens, let me tell you something. Aliens are nothing but people who these motherfuckers have experimented on, and the shit has gone terribly wrong. It's like a movie, you know what I mean? In a world, you know, and these motherfuckers get experimented on, and it's my position, you know, my knowledge is that these motherfuckers escape. They escape or they get released or some shit, and they've been worked on, and these motherfuckers are malformed, disformed, all kind of shit, and they get released back out into society, or they escape or whatever, and they become up the fucking Bigfoots that people talk about that they be seeing. That's all that shit is. It's people that have been experimenting on in these underground bases and that are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Now, if you don't believe that, get the movie The Island of Dr. Moreau. That tells you right there what the fuck is going on. These motherfuckers got places and islands where they're experimenting on people, changing them over. If you saw the movie, you saw this motherfucker had all kind of weird looking people on this island. Okay, so this is happening right now. Okay, we see that with people that's deformed, from people when their blood is too close, as the old folks say, motherfuckers, sister and brother having children. They experiment on people. Why? Why people experiment on people? Because they're trying to get rid of the race. All they want is batteries. That's what the Matrix was talking about. All they want, the people who are doing all this diabolical shit and want this, all they really want is people to do their fucking bidding. All right. Now, Zecharia Sitchin kind of gets at this when he talks about the beings who had, when he's talking about Enlil and Enki, Nick Hawksog, when they were using, they made people and they used the people to mine the earth. You see, they were just using these people to do work. That's what people are trying to get back to. Okay, that's what they're trying to start. So we have a group of people, diabolical people who basically want to use people to do their bidding. All right, iRobot, same concept. Now, if you've seen iRobot, you know the robots are taking over the fucking world, and they're humanized. Okay, they have feelings. The motherfuckers dream. That's what they're trying to do with people. All right, that's what cloning and shit is about. They don't want, and when I say they, we know who I'm talking about. White motherfuckers, the motherfuckers at the top of this whole shit that live up all at the very tip of the East Coast, where in every place these motherfuckers are. All right, the East is very important to them. We know this, all right, because they know power comes from the East. That's why they're trying to get Africa and the Middle East and all that bullshit. You know, it's just signs and symbols. So what they want is they just want a world where motherfuckers do their bidding. They ain't got to worry about nothing. And just a few human motherfuckers running everything. You know what I mean? That's all it is. I mean, you can constantly see the same message over and over. Wizard of Oz. Okay? One motherfucker controlling everybody else. And they pretty much doing his bidding. You see what I'm saying? So the message don't change. The years change, the fucking message don't change. All right? That's all people are doing with this information. That's all people are doing with this desire to control people. That's what all of this is about. That's why we're here right now. That's why you're listening to this, because you're tired of the bullshit. You're tired of the typical struggle that motherfuckers go through to try to exist in these human bodies. All right? And you're looking for answers and you're looking for keys, and I'm here to be a part of that. Okay? And you don't have to get with none of the things that I say. Now, if you're a believer, you don't have to believe none of the shit I say. Okay? All I want is, if you looking for something, if the shit you're doing right now hasn't been working for you for your 19, 15, however old you are, 15, 20, 25, 60 years old of your life and your physical body, if it hasn't been working for you now, all right, then it's time to make a fucking change. People get into these bodies and they get locked in and they don't get open to change. It's time to get your ass open to change. So if you're listening to what I'm saying right now, if you actually have bought this video and you're listening, then you actually made a first step and then open up your fucking mind. You got to be deprogrammed. That's all it is. And you have to, one of the first things is like a 12-step program. One of the first things to salvation, to saving yourself, is to admit that you fucking addicted, that you are fucked up. That's what you have to do. And that can be a hard thing to do. You know, I had to admit it to myself. Brother Rudra had to admit it to himself. We all had to admit that, damn, you know, this shit ain't right. You know, I've been doing this shit all wrong. I've been thinking my mama done lied to me. Your mama lied to you. She sold your ass into slavery once, as soon as you got here and signed off on your birth certificate. She sold your motherfucking ass into slavery. Yet she, you know, you can't tell your mama that she don't love you. But you know why? Because she is fucked up. Your mama fucked up. Your baba who fucked, everybody has let you fucking down from your godhood as soon as you get here. Okay? All of them motherfuckers have forgot. Somebody has to break the vicious cycle. Okay? Otherwise, this shit just continues. Case in point. Breaking the cycle. A man sees his wife cooking. She's cutting the edges of the turkey off. And he said, baby, why do you keep, I notice every time you cook this turkey, you always cut the edges of the turkey off. Why do you do that? She said, I don't know, my mama does that. He said, well, why don't you can you ask your mom? I'm just curious about it. She said, okay. So she calls the mom up and said, Mama, why do you cut the edges of the turkey off every time you put it in the pan? And the mom said, you know what? I never thought about it. She said, I just do that because your grandmama, you know, my mama, I mean, she's always did that. So they called the grandmama up. Said, Grandmama, we just all curious. She said, why do you cut the edges of the turkey off when you every time you you put it in the pan? So the grandmama said, she said, well, the reason why I started cutting the edges of the turkey off is because the pan that I had started off using was too small. So I cut the edges of the turkey off. You know, it's always a simple answer, y'all. But nobody ever thought to ask, damn, why are the Why do I continue cooking like this? I'm just cutting the edge of the turkey off. But you know what? You don't have to cut your edge of the turkey off anymore. Just get you a bigger fucking pan. You know what I mean? People are like that. We just continue to go along in the same fucking way because that's the way it was always done. It was always done like that. Instead of trying to get down to the root of the sauce, we got to go back to the grandmama, so to speak. So that's what you need to do. You need to start getting underneath what we are seeing out here as far as what's accepted tradition. We got to start going underneath the surface. So if anything that you take away from what I'm saying here, start thinking, be a demon. Start thinking outside the box. Start coming outside that accepted way of looking at things. That's what we need to start doing. Okay, so now one of the things that an area that I really want to get into is this whole idea about prayer. You know, we have this country was basically started by deists. Okay, and what does that mean? Deists are people who see themselves as gods. Okay, and in other words, they can make the laws. White people have always had a God complex. We don't. We've never, since we come here, had a God complex. In other words, we don't see ourselves as God. White people see themselves as God. Therefore, they can do any fucking thing they want and don't feel that, there should be any repercussions about it. You see the way white people act. Black people, we have an inferiority complex as a whole because we've been sold a Bill of Rights that make us subservient, and we've bought into that. So we need to get out of that. And one of the tools that are used to make us subservient is this whole idea of course, religion and Christianity in general, and all fucking religions really. But this whole, especially with us, this whole idea of prayer. One of the illest things, the worst things that I think you can see on TV is somebody, a black person, when they've done something great or done something well, maybe they won a fight or whatever, bike race, has done something in the Olympics, or they interview them at some sporting event. When the first thing they want to do is they try to score points by saying, first of all, I got to give the glory to God. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you and this God you're talking about up in the sky. All right? I'm tired of hearing that bullshit. You know what I mean? I want to give honor to God. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you and that shit. Because you need to stop that. That's brainwashing. And they love to put niggas on TV and have them giving honor to God up in the sky. Give honor to your goddamn self. Because you the God. You're the reason why that shit happened. You don't even understand what's going on with you. You want to give honor to God. You know what you're really doing every time you say that is you're giving honor to this white man who birthed your motherfucking ass. Every time you say that. That's all you do when you do that.
Who gave you the opportunity to run that track.
Right. That's what you're saying. Okay? So that's the God. That's how it comes off, because you got to remember, we're dealing with the subconscious, y'all. We're dealing with the fucking subconscious. That's a very important thing to understand here. You are collective energy in the history of this world, in the history of this place where we are right now, are all of these concepts, signs, and symbols that people have locked into their subconscious. You see what I'm saying? It's hard. You know what? It's hard to deal with a person's conscious. Ain't too much shit you can do with a person's conscious, but you can manipulate their subconscious. And that's where it goes. This is how subliminal advertising comes about. You're looking at something and you think you're looking at a movie, and what is hidden on is your subconscious. There are messages all in the movie that your subconscious is taking in that you don't even realize, especially when you are unaware of it. You got to learn to protect yourself from that. Okay? So when people get up in front of TVs and say things like, I want to give a glory to God and all of that, that continue to perpetuate this whole myth that the white man is the one who birthed you and is greater than you, and continue to tell people to give your power to something else or someone else. Okay? It's time out for that. It's time out for that. And prayer is one of those things. You see, I prayed for this victory. You know what? That perpetuates the myth. Okay, that perpetuates the myth. You know, if you look at prayer, to me it's kind of interesting. You know, like I said, I love to flip words. It's interesting to me that inside the word prayer is the word rape. All right, so that should tell you a little bit about that, about prayer. But prayer is really, when you break it down, prayer is like really a Latin word. You see what I'm saying? That means to beg. That's what prayer means. It means to beg, to beseech, somebody else to do something according to their will. That's what prayer is about. So when you're praying, you're actually begging. It's time off all this begging and slobbering and bullshit. All right, you got to get off your fucking knees and start walking around. Quit being a Neanderthal with your motherfucking knuckles scraping the ground and bending down. You are God. Stand the fuck up and affirm yourself. Okay, we got to stop praying and start affirming. Okay, and you got to believe that when you are God, then you have to act like a God. You have to affirm things. You command things. You don't go around, I hope it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Lord, if you hear my prayer. You see what I'm saying? That's an old paradigm, y'all. Yeah, that's an old paradigm, y'all. That's right. It's time out for that. That's an old paradigm. Our parents did that. This ain't the commercial said, this ain't your father's religion. This ain't your father's concept. All that shit is through. Okay, that's what they did. Prayer is an old construct. Prayer is from a Newtonian world. You know, when in Isaac Newton time, that's when you measure shit out. You see what I'm saying? You measure shit. It was you measured and guessed and you know, put and waited on things, and that's the old world. Okay. We've got to stop doing all this. Now, this is no longer Newtonian world. Okay, this is what the scientists are trying to come up with. That's why they all into quantum physics, because they knew you can't. That shit is old. Now we're moving at, as Valentine said, light code speed now. You see what I'm saying? So if you still praying and shit, that's an obsolete model. That's fucked up. That's an obsolete model. And you say, well, when I pray, things happen. No, that ain't because you fucking praying. You know why? When the reason shit's happen is not because you prayed, dumb motherfucker. The reason shit happens is because it's a reminder to try to get you to remember who you are. That's all it's going on with you. It ain't got nothing to do with prayer. You understand what I'm saying? Life is full shit. You don't even have to pray and things happen to you. And you go, damn, I wonder what, but you know what? The first thing you do, well, God is looking out for me. No, you're brainwashing. That's what you need to realize about. If those of you who are new to this game and just maybe taking a chance to listen to this, you're brainwashed. And sometimes when you're brainwashed, it's hard to get away from that. So, you know, miracles and things like that are built into the fabric of this universe. They're built in. There's a certain amount of, we're all, let me back that up. You understand, we're all, this collective energy, everybody that we are, you're everybody that has ever existed. Every black person, every white that has ever existed, because of the collective energy of all of us. That's who we are. So, a miracle is built into the very fabric of something. So when you need something done, a lot of times the people who need miracles are the people who, number one, are spiritually or energy depleted. Them the motherfuckers that need miracles. You see, if you're God, you don't need no fucking miracle. You don't even need to pray. You just need to assert that shit. You know what I mean? Claim it, name it, and go get it. It's done. You see what I'm saying? In fact, that's what I say. Consider it done now. So if you need a miracle, then your energy is low, your frequency is low. You're the one that's got to keep doing all that begging and shit. You're the one that's got to keep, quote unquote, praying. You see them slobbering and crying up in fucking church about your motherfucking bills, and you know what I'm saying? That's sickening. That's like you might as well have you a fucking pimp. You know, because that's all you're doing. When you go to church, you're getting your ass pimped, begging to God and to preaching some bullshit. Instead of getting off your fucking knees and walking around and realizing that you are God. You're codependent. And if you can understand the concept of being codependent, then it's the same thing as going to church and talking about getting a preacher or God to help you. Okay, you dependent on just like a hoe depends on her pimp to look out for her. She begs, and if she doesn't do what he says, he slapped the shit out of her. You know what I'm saying? We bought into the same concept. If I don't do what God say, I know that I'm gonna get punished. Just right and wrong. You see what I'm saying? You're constantly giving your power to something outside of yourself. So it's time out for that. It's time out for all this praying and stuff. Okay. If you once you start affirming who you are, you know what that gets into is remembering who you are. You see, because once you decide to get into this physical body, you get into this flesh, we forget shit. So it's not about praying, and by extension of that, having faith is old. Now it's about remembering and knowing. Once you start to remember who you are, then you automatically know. You see what I'm saying? So I know everything. I know everything I need to know because I'm a God. And people ask me that stupid ass question. Well, if you're God, do you know everything? You're goddamn right. I know everything. It's right within my fingertips. If I don't know it, then I don't know it. You see what I'm saying? So I know what I need to know to deal with this dimension that I'm in. So it's about remembering, knowing, not praying now. That's praying and faith, having faith. You guessing. You see what I'm saying? You living your life hoping and shit.
Rolling dice.
Rolling dice. You know what I'm saying? Hoping it's going to work out. It's time out for that. All right. So you need to get off your knees and stop all this praying. Stop all this praying and start remembering who you are. Start affirming who you are. All right. And prayer is dangerous anyway because it comes out of the word precarious. And precarious is a dangerous predicament to be in. You see? So, but when you start to remember, then you start to accept your godhood. You start to accept your divineness. You start to develop your God complex. We don't have, as a black people, we don't have a God complex. All right? We don't have a God complex. And so, therefore, we're like what the Africans say, a man standing on one leg. You're very unbalanced. You see what I'm saying? So, and when you start accepting your deity, your deityhood and your divineness, then you start putting white people, you start putting this devil on notice that you are God. Then they're on one legs. They're uncomfortable around you. Then, you see. But we've everything that we're doing is here in these skins is part of buying into this propaganda about can we all get along. You know, I think that's a very silly statement. You know, black people have been trying to get along since they came to this fucking country. So to say, can we all get along is a stupid, popularized slogan. Can we all get along? We've tried getting along. White people have never wanted to get along with black people. Now, because a motherfucker want to get elected, then they want to come to your neighborhood talking about can we all get along and get out, you know, let's go vote and all of that. And, you know, I guess, you know, these fucking rappers, you know, I'm sick of y'all too. You know what I mean? Fuck all you rappers. You know what I mean? All of y'all, especially y'all don't have any motherfucking sense. You know, everybody really just, you know, just wants to be fucking famous. That's all it's about. You know what I mean? A nigga say, hey, I'm a thug. Nigga, you just want to be famous. You want to be famous, and in exchange for that, you sell your motherfucking soul again, like Dorian. That's another motherfucking Dorian. You know, Dorian was the motherfucker who exchanged his soul with the devil so he could stay young for fucking ever. That's another Dorian. And that's what a lot of you rappers are doing. You're exchanging your motherfucking soul in regards so you can stay, so you can get up on game, so you can be famous, so you can be that. That's all. That's what you're rapping for. You know what I mean? You ain't got a motherfucking thing to say. You want to promote the lowest chakra all the time. You understand what I'm saying? And then you motherfuckers who are supposedly saying something, you get co-opted too. Public enemy. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Co-opted. You know, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Most deaf. You know what I mean? You know, most means fucking death. Did you know that? MOS? Death. Okay? So, and then you got death. Okay. if you're dead, you ain't hearing a motherfucking thing, are you? So his name is kind of apropos. I love to flip words because when you look at them, the shit start to make sense. All right, now, so you have all these rappers out here that are trying basically to be famous, and at any risk, by any means necessary, they just want to get on point. You know what I mean? And they ain't got a motherfucking thing to say. You know, so here come white boy. He decides that the way to talk to the youth, you know, to start getting black people is to start getting them, you know, getting them young, because again, this is all about a marketing program that is fucking going on among black people. They look at us as a marketing program, and you know, these motherfuckers sit down and go, okay, now let me see. In order to get the black community, we need to start with, Bill, hand me that chart. We need to start with the young, maybe the 12 to the tweens, the 12 to 13-year-olds. Get those, and we need a marketing tool. So we're going to start setting up certain rappers. We're going to develop an Eminem, and and we'll use him to start getting the young white youth along with the young black youth, and then we can grow these into older people and then 18 to 25 demographics and stay with them. You know, I used to be a copywriter, so you know, I know a lot about subliminal messages, okay, because we would sit around and actually think of shit, how we could put messages in our ads and all that type of shit. I did that for 2 years. I was one of the only black copywriters in the city of St. Louis doing that in this particular city. So, you know, I'm used to writing persuasive shit, commercials and all that, producing them, all of that shit, and using that technology for that. So all of that goes on. So marketing is an area that's basically what is going on in this country. How we can they're seeking whom they can devour by marketing. So they have all these great marketing tools. And rapping and the rap hip hop arena is definitely an area has been co-opted. In a few years, it probably won't even be shit black. It'll be just like jazz. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers, most people who'll be listening to rap will be white people. You know, the shit, they buying up most of the records. You know what I mean? And the CDs, according to SoundScan. You know what I mean? If you can trust them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But just for the hell of it, you know, SoundScan, them motherfuckers buy up 70% of the CDs. You know what I mean? So most black people, our shit, we getting ours bootleg, underground. That's one reason SoundScan can't get out and know how much we'll be doing. But it's a lot of bootleg shit going on. All right? So I used to be in that area too. But here's the deal. So you got all these rappers out here who are nothing but glorified political tools that they're using to brainwash the youth and sell the motherfucking youth and all their ideals. All right. So long come P. Diddy talking about get out the right to vote. Now, you would think that rapping or rappers would be that last bastion of resistance to all this corporate bullshit that people are trying to get up on. You know, it's like the last political voice, the last voice of resistance to say, you know what, we don't want none of the shit that politics is about, that all this other different type of social development programs are, but we don't want any of that shit that, you know, so-called grown people are running. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But they have sold these motherfuckers on this. All right, here they come with P. Diddy, use him to do this whole program to get out the right to vote or die. Now, if that's not hypocrisy, I don't know what is. Vote or die, okay? And where is the subconscious? We know what the subliminal manipulation is going on, right? Vote or die, ride or die, all right? We know the connection. You see, that's how they work. So they connected vote or die to ride or die to reach the you. So now this is hypocrisy, all right? Because you got P. Diddy and you got the rap community telling people, you know, to vote when half them motherfuckers can't vote no way because they got felony records. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So I think that's hypocrisy. All right. It shouldn't have been vote or die. Right. It's hypocrisy, man. It shouldn't have been vote or die. What they should have been saying is vote, because we can't even try. Our shit's fucked up. We can't vote. You know. And then they talking about vote or die. Now what is that telling you? They're telling you that motherfuckers, we gonna kill you. You see what I'm saying? Cause if I'm not mistaken, tons of black people died to get the right to vote in the first place, didn't it?
Right.
So that dying shit is old. That's through. We through with that. We ain't motherfucking dying to vote. You see what I'm saying? Just count the motherfucking votes. That's what you need to do. You know, niggas already voting. Y'all just need to count the motherfuckers, okay? But every time you try to do that, some shit come up. You know, you put your electronic votes out there. You go to the electronic voting machine. You use D-Bold and them motherfuckers to count the votes. And we know them motherfuckers was involved with World War II and all of that shit. You see what I'm saying? Motherfuckers was funding both sides of the war, funding Hitler shit and United States in World War II. So it's just madness. It's madness. All right. So to use the rap community to talk about get out the right to vote is just hypocrisy, and it's stupid, because none of these motherfuckers ain't on any motherfucking thing. Then they use them to send out mixed messages. You got Jadakiss with the one song he got out. On the surface, that motherfucker is raw. You know, oh, he talking, but you know, you hear what he's saying. He, on one hand, he's basically going against Bush. Why? To get you to vote against Kerry. I mean, to get you to vote for Kerry. You don't need to be voting for any of them motherfuckers. See what I'm saying? So everybody's like, damn, that Jadakiss song. I mean, you know, motherfuckers uninformed, thinking about, you know, here he said some things against Bush, blah, 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 blah. But he was a political tool. You see, he was a political tool, not even aware of it. And these rappers are included. They don't know a motherfucking thing about what's going on. They rapping. You know what I mean? They rapping. The last motherfucker seemed like they had some sense. Even iota sense is PE and KRS-One and all them motherfuckers, they suspect now. You see, they suspect. So, if a motherfucker ain't, it's like Lalo Africa said, and I'm paraphrasing Lalo Africa, but he's basically said that if you ain't thinking about destroying a white man every day, you know, something's wrong with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's where you have to be. You got to be every day. Your shit got to be thinking about how can I destroy the motherfucking white man, and in essence, what his destroy what his shit is about. You know what I mean? And if he come at you wrong physically, destroy his ass too. You know what I mean? But in essence, destroy all this shit that he's about. I like how Roswell put it on the cult meaning of comic books. He said this is dedicated to the destruction of Western civilization. Okay, so props to you for saying that, Roswell. That was deep. And that's where you have to be, man. That's what time it is. We got to come up off of that. So we looking at all these different avenues that they use to co-opt us as a people. The rappers with their bullshit, they ain't talking about nothing. You got dealing mostly with their lower chakras and all of that. And ain't nothing. I'm not saying anything is wrong with fucking, okay? Because we need to be fucking. You know what I'm saying? We need to be having babies every fucking day till we obliterate this motherfucker. You hear me? Because they're trying to stop us from having children. Have babies. You know, all mythologies talk about how the gods will come back and be the savior. You know who the gods are? The god or the gods are really the babies who gonna be born. Shit, the motherfucking pussy is the wormhole. You see what I'm saying? That's what that's about. Whenever you hear in mythology, the Hopi Indians, the Mayans, the Africans, all of these societies, when they talk about the gods coming back and they're looking for their savior, that's all code. You see, we were the first code makers and symbolists and use signs and numbers and all that shit was us on the motherfucking high frequency tip, but now it's been flipped over by these diabolical people who are using all of that energy, those signs and symbols to do a lot of negative things and to bring people down. They flipped it. So a lot of things that are sacred, they're using it for the profane. So you will see motherfucking cross, in a tampon commercial or some shit, on a box or something. You see what I'm saying? All fucked up. But the cross itself as a symbol is actually It's a cool thing. But Christianity didn't fuck that up as part of their religion. You know what I mean? So because they believe Jesus is on the cross and all that old bullshit, they done bought into that fairy tale. You know, that's all Jesus is. And some of you already know that, so I'm preaching to the choir on that. You know what I'm saying? But that's all that shit is. That's a fairy tale. Just like Little Red Riding Hood is one. It's a moralistic fable. That tells the motherfucker something. All right? Case in point, the wolf eats the grandmama, right? He's inside the belly. That ain't nothing but Jonah, motherfuckers. Jonah is stories are bound for thousands of years about motherfuckers being ate by animals. Okay, in the belly. Jonah in the whale. Okay, Jesus in the motherfucking cave. It's all the same allegory. It's all the same symbolism. You see what I'm saying? But you have to study it. And if you really want to get your eyes open, start getting into mythology.